This is why you died.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to This Is Why You Died, your friendly neighborhood horror show. And we have a very special Halloween bonus episode treat for all of you guys today. As always, that is Ryan Ross live. He's the cute one. That's Dan March of Madness. He's the smart one. And I am Sir Ian Dangerous, a.k.a. your Uncle Frank. And I guess that makes me Ringo or something. But joining us today, live from the nether realm of Los Angeles, is actress, writer, producer, director, Emmy nominee, the effervescent, the multi-hyphenated, the lovely Naomi Grossman, everybody. Naomi Grossman. Hello, Naomi. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us today. Really appreciate you showing up. Say hi, boys. Let's be polite.
Hello. Welcome. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Dude, it's so awesome to have you. And we all just checked out the movie that you're in right now, in theaters right now, the movie Him, H-I-M, Him. And we want to talk to you about it because it is an experience. And I think it's not what people may necessarily expect. So I just want to chat with you about your experience making it and what people should be looking for going into it. And then just about some fun stuff in general, if that's okay with you, Naomi.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't know if you're getting video here, but I'm in this room surrounded by peppers. And, that's my usual fare. And so this is really fun for me. I get to talk about something other than American Horror Story. I'm excited. Like, I feel like, I've seen the movie twice now, and I got totally different things each time I saw it. I feel like I need to see a third just to see what comes out of it. But it's definitely a movie that you kind of want to discuss. There's more than meets the eye, I think. So I'm excited to have people to talk to about it.
Same. Actually, one of the things that we all talked about on this show before we did this interview with you was, can we do spoilers for this thing? Because and we're like, no, we're not going to do spoilers on this show. We're gonna try and keep the mystery. But dude, it is a very cool movie. We're gonna try and like kind of dance around the spoilers, but we are dying to get in and talk to people about it as well because it's very cool. There's a lot going on. Is that a Him sweater you're wearing right now?
It is. I'll show you the official. You can see the kind of monkey paw.
Yeah.
It kind of looks like NFL, but it's monkey paw, and of course, here
so
you can
sick.
see the back.
Oh.
Our production name, before they give it the official name, it has the fake name, which was Next Man Up, with a big pentagram, and then Albuquerque, New Mexico, which is of course where we shot it.
That is fantastic.
Everything that was interior was actually on a soundstage. So that compound is not real. It's a big warehouse where they built these gorgeous, this home. And then of course the exterior is very real. That's just the sort of desert sprawl mountainscape of Albuquerque.
So the like bunkerish entrance to the house in the film, was that constructed? Is that like a building that existed?
That's a great question. And I think that is not right there. I think I want to say they traveled like way south or way west or so that
Interesting.
part, they went somewhere special for that. But everything else was right there on location, like on like I said, a soundstage.
It felt seamless. And you did some of the stuff out in the sun there, right? Because one of the scenes we see, you're outside in it.
In the heat.
Oh, yeah. I'll never forget when I first, got to set that. When we first see me in the movie, that was also like one of our first days on set, and certainly my first day. And it was, I remember looking around and going like, if if Washington were in the desert, you know what I mean, on January 6th, I have a feeling this is what it looked like. You know what I mean? Like looking at those guys with the, there was somebody dressed as Jesus, and there's the guys with the antlers and the American flag, and I think probably even a Confederate flag. Like I was like, oh my God, this is full on insurrectionist land.
Oh God.
Yeah. And that's kind of that's what I was going for. Like I was going for, so nutty that she'd, break and enter and well, again,
attack.
spoiler.
Yeah.
Hey, you sold it.
Well, no, I don't think that's a spoiler. I think that's because your character's name is Marjorie. She's an obsessed fan who is obsessed with Tyreek Withers' character, who's the main character of the movie. You're obsessed with him.
Marlon Wayans' character, who's the exiting quarterback, the former star.
Exactly. I mean, hopefully this doesn't require clarification since you have seen it. But yeah, the idea is like I am obsessed with Marlon's character, Isaiah White, and therefore have no room for Tyreek Withers' character, Cameron Cade. So, there can only be one throne. And I have, I'm not ready to dethrone the king here.
You're really, really not ready. I would say your look is like deranged cheerleader who hasn't had a shower in a couple of weeks. It's an awesome character. It's a really great transformation. Did you come up with that look yourself? Was that something that they had like drawings of? They put you in a costume, or how did that work out?
Both. I mean, they did consider giving me prosthetics. The blonde hair was totally their idea. I think they didn't want me to look like Marjorie Taylor Greene, which I think they oddly succeeded. But no, I mean, I came for my makeup tests and whatnot, and that's just kind of what came out my face. So I mean, like I said, I have the conversation a lot in regards to Pepper in that, it is a collaboration. The makeup obviously has a huge role, but at the same time, if I don't do something with it, then what is it? It just sits on your face. So I can't take credit for the look other than the fact that is my face, and that's what that makeup looks like on my face. But
the physicality, your physicality was fantastic with it. I mean, again, no spoilers, but there is a scene where you come crawling out of somewhere, and the physicality of you crawl. That was, for me, that was my goosebumps moment in the movie when you came out of nowhere and jumped and, attacked. And it was awesome. With your physicality there, I know that you're a big fan of yoga. Mm-hmm. You're a practicing yogi. Mm-hmm. Did that inform that scene, or did that just evolve?
Yeah, no, I think so. I mean, I don't know how much research they did on me, but I am quite petite. I can fit under sauna benches, and that's what I did. And so, I think when they were like, "Can you slither out without anyone seeing you?" and I think maybe they just didn't know that I could do that well.
You could slither.
That was a hidden skill.
Yeah.
That's not, they say soft skills, the stuff you don't put on the resume. It's sauna slithering.
So, okay, so we talked about you in the movie. Let's talk about the movie in general, because I think a lot of people are going into it thinking it's a football slasher movie. That's not what it is. How would you describe this movie?
I know. I feel like it's almost having a little bit of an identity crisis in that they have sort of billed it as a football horror movie, but I'm kind of the most horror thing about it. Like, I'm probably the most terrifying aspect. And while there is obviously like a good 45 minutes of just football, at the same time, I feel like football is almost the enemy. Like NFL is sort of the antagonist here. And so for them to be advertising on, NFL games is kind of like Bernie Sanders, like going on Fox News. Like, it's like, know your audience. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not in marketing, so I'm not trying, it's not my place to say. But at the same time, I feel, again, my takeaway, having watched it myself, is that the NFL is very much under attack in this film, literally by me. But it's almost like I'm not being articulate. You gave me such a beautiful introduction, as if I can actually speak.
You can absolutely speak.
All these things, but I can't form sentences. No, but I feel like, the NFL is sort of Satan, if you will, and just below Satan we have his henchmen, the agents, the owners, all those rich white guys, right, that are kind of pimping out players. And there's this system, right, that's been sort of created all in service of that billionaire owner, which is ultimately the NFL. And so I'm obviously collateral damage. I mean, literally, like the obsessed fans. I think I'm not just one fan. I think I'm actually like a collective. I think I represent fandom, right? I represent those crazy insurrectionists who are passionate enough to break public property and kill policemen and do whatever they did that day on January 6th, right? And again, I'm kind of I'm comparing it to January 6th because while they are obviously very different, not really, right? It's like obsessed fans at the end of the day, right? One's football, the other's politics, but so
to your point, it's
of course, and that's just my character. You've got, Julia Fox's character, the wife of the goat, who, she also's got to get, she got to pay for this lifestyle somehow, and that's, there's the agent, obviously, there's all these. Like I said, kind of characters that are all kind of in service of this, I would say, greater good. But in this case, it's sort of like more evil, bad.
Well, to your point, it's got this very cult of personality aspect, right? Of Isaiah White is this figurehead that is carrying this momentum. And you mentioned the entrenched, the impassioned fans are basically those ones that are just being pulled along by this current, and they aren't even really aware of all the machinations happening above their perception behind all the closed doors. They're just seeing the glitz and the glam and everything that's being presented to them, when really they're being victimized by all of these things that are going on behind the scenes. I'm definitely with you on that.
I mean, everyone's a victim in the end, really. You know what I mean? Obviously, while the goat is, you'd think, not the victim, because let's face it, he's the goat. He's the one that gets the ladies and the riches and the this and the that. He's being used by these, like I said, white man, at the helm. We're all victims at the end of the day.
And I think that's actually something that the movie does a great job of confronting, because I like you said, you've seen it a few times. I can't wait to see it a few more times, because I don't think that it tells you everything the first time you see it. But what I took away from that movie, and I think that it's the thing that elevates it above just being a football slasher, is that it's a movie about how to not be a victim and how to elevate yourself to a greater level out of this Faustian bargain that's kind of presented in the movie, for lack of a better term, because it is, I think, a little bit more complicated than that, and it's talking about more things.
No, Faustian bargain is the perfect word. Thank you. That's what I was going for. I said all the words around it, but not Faustian bargain. That's what I think it's about.
Yeah. And I hope people do go check it out, because I think it's a movie that people are going to find. And if not right now, as it's in theaters, and I think it's going to be going out of theaters in the next week or two, it'll be on streaming. I hope people find it then and can check it out and check out your performance and check out the movie as well. Because I thought it had a lot going on.
Yeah, I mean, listen, there's seeing my loogie 10 feet tall.
That was a hell of a loogie.
Right? Like, this little lady had that much phlegm.
How'd you make that? How'd you make that in the movie?
I was gonna ask if that was actually you, or if that was like part you and part set.
That was improv. That was me. They were, we did a few takes, and wow. It's one of those things where I know me, I'm an improviser, so I'm always trying to give them something else, something new. Like, we already got that take, let's do something else. So how can I heighten it? And so a giant bit of phlegm certainly did that.
That's incredible.
One of the most impressive loogies I've ever seen in my life. This is from the ground, like improv, motherfuckers. Dude, it was awesome. Yeah, that's keep an eye out for it's an Oscar award-winning loogie.
It's a loogie that sends a message.
In IMAX, but even without, and this kind of goes back to what we were talking about with the sort of almost identity crisis. Again, it's not just a football slasher. In fact, I think it's an art house film. Like, honestly, it is so beautifully shot. It reminds me of like some of the really avant-garde, like Andy Warhol experimental films that he would do. Like, it's absolutely gorgeous. Like, there's not a single shot that's not absolutely just spectacular looking. And it's funny, like, I sent my 86-year-old mother, who, believe me, is not the demographic. Between all the F words and all the N words and all the football, like, this is not something that she would enjoy, but she loved it just for the art aspect alone. She is a lady that lives in a little art colony, so she loved it. So
where is she?
I think
art colony.
You can't just skip over that.
Oh, so she was near to the set. She was nearby to the set.
Well, and that's actually how I got the role, which is pretty amazing. So I have a little one-woman show called American Horror Story, which I've done all over. I did it in 27 consecutive nights in Edinburgh. I did it here in LA. I did it off Broadway in New York. You name it. But among the places I've been with it was my hometown of Taos, New Mexico, where my mom lives. While I was there doing the show, Jordan Peele's local casting, because like I said, they were shooting this in New Mexico, came to see me and boom, just offered it like that. Which on one hand, I'm like, what? Like, how does that happen? Like, I just...
Wow.
Like, I didn't have to audition. And then the other part of me is like, no, Naomi, you auditioned. You literally did an 1.5-hour monologue on a stage, and that was your audition. So I did plenty of auditions for this, but still pretty cool, especially because you always figure that, you got to be in Hollywood or, New York for big things to happen. And it's just not true. Like, Taos is literally like a one-horse town with a blinking light and and apparently some really great tax incentives for the film, for the television. And so, I got lucky.
It's a very cool town, Taos. And as you said, very arty, very artsy.
Yeah.
So and you put up your show in Taos and they came to see it there?
Yeah.
That's so amazing.
It's great timing. Meant to be. That's really cool.
Well, it goes along with sort of a part of my MO, which is if you build it, they will come. Obviously, like, I was doing that show because I love it, because it's not like I set out like, oh, I'm gonna go to this tiny little town with dirt roads and hope that like Jordan Peele sees it. Like, no, that's crazy. But I'm doing my art, and of course I'm hoping that people will notice, and they did. So
what, your dream show wasn't in Taos, New Mexico? That wasn't the top of your list?
What do you mean?
Oh, just making a joke.
He's making fun of Taos, New Mexico.
I'm unfamiliar with the town. I've never been to anywhere in New Mexico. I tend to be the new one on the show. I am ignorant of much horror.
You were billed as the smart one.
No, that's Dan. Dan's the smart one.
I'm the cute one for a reason.
You're the cute one?
He's the cute one.
At least so I'm told.
The cute one. he's our Paul McCartney.
I'm the blushing one.
But no, oh my God. So I'm very familiar with Taos, New Mexico, and I love that place. And that's so cool that you put your show up there. Is there anywhere else that the show is going up that maybe people who are listening to the show could possibly check it out?
Yes. It is most likely that our next stop is Palm Springs. We're going to be doing it there specifically to shoot it as a comedy special. So when you go there, so the next incarnation will not just be a live show. I mean, it will be, but there will be cameras rolling, and ideally those cameras will be capturing something that we will eventually see on a, Netflix or Hulu or, you name it. So that's the plan.
That's very exciting. What do you have an approximate time when you'll be shooting it, or is it like?
It is looking like 2026 at this point, which is unfortunate, but that's also like kind of around the corner. So, I say unfortunate just because I'm chomping at the bit to do it. Like but at the same time, like I also waited. We shot him in March of 2024. So. This business, things take time. It's part of it. So,
but still, congratulations, because that's a huge opportunity and very exciting.
Yeah.
So
I would say, if anything, people should, if they follow my socials or even go on the show's website, which is AmericanHorrorStory.com. There's actually a place where you can add yourself to our mailing list, and you'll get an invite to the live taping. So that's the fastest way to find out.
Can you give a quick description of your show? I'd love to hear more about it.
It's it's the history. It's it's the history of my hustle. So the whore is not a promiscuous whore, although been there, done that too. But this whore is one who whores out. Specifically, one who, we all do it. We all do things that, we got to do what we got to do to get what we want. And that's this show. It chronicles, like I said, my history of hustling from the odd jobs I've held to my even odder love life. We see me, compromising. And from like I said, I hold a myriad of odd jobs from, I drove the Red Bull car, I danced for money at bar mitzvahs, I spun signs dressed as Lady Liberty, I taught Spanish for a while. You name it. In fact, when I was cast as American Horror Story, I was literally like, clocking in at Paramount, then, clocking back out at my, conjugating verb job. Like it was, that was my life. And we see also that becoming Pepper, pre-Pepper, post-Pepper.
So I know that you've done other one-woman shows before this. I know you've done one about your time in Argentina. And so would you say that this is kind of like, this is the modern story, your modern trajectory story?
Yeah, they're all autobiographical. I am my own muse. And so yes, the Girl in Argentine Landscape, I would say, would be my kind of coming of age story, sort of set in high school when I was there in Argentina. Then after that, I have my second show is called Carnival Knowledge, Love, Lust, and Other Human Oddities. And it's maybe my come of age story, different spelling, sort of looking for love, misadventures, dating in LA. There's 8 billion people in the world, only takes 1 to work. So it's sort of my madcap adventures of just, it's kind of like Sex in the City, different coast, crappier shoes. That's kind of knowledge. And then I would say American Horror Story is, yeah, it's a little more mature. It's I do go on. I have a couple really disastrous relationships in that one as well. It's not to say that there aren't any bad boyfriends, but the bad boyfriend show is really number 2. This is more just bad choices across the board.
I must say, I love your naming conventions of the journey you've gone on of the naming of your shows. It's fantastic.
I feel like I have a 4th, which, do I want to even out that? I don't know. It's not written yet, but it's I want to get the fuck out of here. It starts with my accidentally confusing a spa vacation with an ayahuasca retreat.
Wait, which way did you confuse them?
I thought I was gonna go get some facials. Instead, I got my brain blown.
Those are different trips.
That sounds like a whole story right there. Ayahuasca, terrible idea. Don't do it, especially if you're expecting a spa vacation. So if you're getting a facial and someone gives you a pipe, don't inhale. Be like Clinton. Don't inhale.
Oh God,
that's an old person joke. Sorry, Ryan.
Yeah, Ryan might not get that one.
But okay, so real quick, Naomi. I also, we are a horror show. I know that you deal with all different kinds of genres in your movies. You go all over the place, and you basically, from what I can tell, and correct me if I'm wrong, you tend to follow the character. You look for characters first, and you like going for characters. If you were to play a character, if you were to remake a movie, like ideally someone was like, here, have a few $1 million, and you were like, okay, I want to play that part. What would that part be?
Well, right now it would be Aunt Gladys's, either the young Aunt Gladys or maybe Aunt Gladys's niece. You know what I mean? Like there needs to be a weapon. I mean, it's sort of a no-brainer, right?
Oh,
does anyone have Zach Kreger's number on them?
I know you like just when you said that, I was like, that would be perfect. That would be such a perfect role. Wow. Yeah, we have to get in touch. That we have to make this happen. You spoke out into the world. That's got to happen.
Zach Kreger, if you're listening, she's in.
Zach, come on, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I've gotten that question many times, and I've never had the right answer. Like, I've always kind of just been like, hey, come when I'm called. Like, there's a lot of like iconic characters in like real life that I feel like would be awesome to play. I mean, I feel like, Ghislaine Maxwell is like such a messed up villain. Like, I would love to like what is in her brain? Like, I want to play that. I think it'd be interesting to play like, I don't know, Hillary Clinton. Like I said, there are so many interesting, complex, sort of tragic characters out there. But when I saw Weapons most recently, I was just like, I have to play that. I mean, she did that, but knowing that there's a prequel coming, I need in that.
Yeah,
period.
I could totally see that happening.
Anything that you need for lobbying, I'm gonna say for myself, boys, you say it as well, but like I'm in. I agree. You need to be that 110%.
And in classic fashion of the podcast, out of the 3 of us, I'm sure I'm the only one who hasn't yet seen it. So that's on me.
It's okay. We'll get him to see it. That's an instant classic.
Is the key word. Yet is the key word. I plan on it.
Okay.
Yes, we'll get him to see it, and then he will understand.
Supposedly the smart one, but but no, my bad.
I'm still the cute one.
He's the cute one.
There's a reason.
Smart one. Ryan is the cute one.
Ryan's cute. He's
at least so they tell me.
He's Paul McCartney, and then George Harrison is up there.
I'm George? Okay, cool.
You're George. You're George.
Okay.
Yeah.
Paul's generous, I think, for me.
You call yourself a Ringo, but you actually really remind me of Diego Luna in the new Kiss of a Spider-Woman movie.
Oh, I will take that all day long. As someone who once was told I was once told I looked like Billy Ray Cyrus, and I almost jumped off a bridge.
Oh, I kind of see that, though. I can see it now that you said it. I'm sorry, Ian, I see it now.
I'm willing to bet almost no one in this call is going to know the two names or at least one of the names I'm about to say, but I always describe Ian as the love child between Matthew Mercer and Dave Grohl. I always describe Ian that way, and I stand by it fully. Dave Grohl, I'm sure everyone in the call knows, and there's definitely something there. But then you just throw in Matt Mercer, and it's there. You got it's your fashion, it's your vibe. I promise.
Why are we talking about me? We've got Naomi Grossman on the phone. Can we get back on topic, please? Here, Naomi, help me here.
Naomi, behind you, all of the pepper. Is that artwork from fans that have sent you, or how is that?
Yeah, this is just.
That's all fan art?
Where I come to feel good about myself, I guess. Yeah, it's all been handed to me at, Comic-Cons. Yeah, it's I mean, you're just seeing two walls. It's a full 360 experience.
How does that feel to create a character, or to be, to really infuse a character and create that character that people have now made their own art to express their love of it? Like, how does that feel to you?
Listen, I am not a breeder, so I don't have a refrigerator full of, chicken scratch that my, kid has drawn, but I do have this, you know what I mean? Like, I created this. Like, just like a parent sees some stick figures and goes, "Oh my God, my child's a Michelangelo." I feel the same way. Like I from my art was born all this other art, and I love that. I love that it's almost a dialogue. You know what I mean? Because it's yes, I acted on screen and it went one direction, but this is me getting to, I get it back too, which is, it's a beautiful thing. I for the longest time, I always thought that being a performer was kind of almost like this narcissistic pursuit. Like, it was just all about like me needing attention, wanting camera time, lights on me. And I see now, like, no, it's like I said, I don't want to say I'm doing the Lord's work or anything, but I think it's, I don't think I was giving myself enough credit. Like, I understand now, like, I mean, along with each of these pieces, there's a story. Sometimes there's a note that talks about, like, I was going to off myself before I saw America, or whatever, you name it. Like, these people all were touched by something I did, and so much so that they put a pen to paper, and it's a beautiful thing. So yeah, I'm very proud of it. This is during the fires in January. This is where I came and like seriously looked around, like, okay, are we taking this all off the walls or what? I didn't want. Ultimately, I didn't leave the house. All my neighbors were, running with the suitcases, and I couldn't face the music. I just stayed put, and thankfully was safe. But yeah, I was not ready to part with this room or these things. But I also wasn't ready to start taking them off the walls either.
Well, it's like you said, it's that give and take. You're like, you're putting it out into the world and it's able to build a relationship out there, and then it's only when people are able to bring it back to you that you're able to witness the relationship that you've built, which is really cool and something I think is really unique to these type of mediums of like whether it's broadcast or acting or pretty much anything, even authors. I think that they put it out there, and once it's out, they don't really know how it's received until people are able to bring it back, and that's something that's really cool about art in general, I think.
Yes, agreed.
Yeah, and Pepper seems to be the gift that does keep on giving. Do you still do cons and go like meet people and sign autographs as like Pepper fans still?
I do.
That's awesome.
That's incredible. I feel like the horror community in general is very, people get so scared if you like tell them that you love horror movies. They're like, oh man, you love watching people get hurt all the time. But I think that there's so much like community that it builds watching a horror movie, sharing in the story, the way that we're talking about him and about American Horror Story. I think just like, I love that these horror conventions just keep getting bigger and bigger every year, and people can realize like, this is a general loving community. Even though we're watching people getting murdered on screen, it's like we care about each other. You know, we like lift each other up and celebrate the stuff that we're making. So I think that's fantastic. You're such a big part of it.
Yeah, it's there is something kind of ironic about, you know, these people like dressed as Carrie, you know, and yet they're the nicest people you'd ever meet. I mean, truly, I mean, listen, I went to theater school, so most of my friends are actors, but and successful actors, big actors and big sitcoms and dramas, but they don't have rooms like this. This is a horror thing. This is like a kind of a cult community that I somehow I joke that I like fell into this horror hole, but hey, I'm here for it.
I feel like horror hole is something that Ian would use at the beginning of an episode, like welcome to our horror hole.
Oh, I absolutely filed that one away for later. But that being said, no, I agree. I think there is a certain passion that comes along with movies in general, but then when you find like a genre of it that really sticks out, you know, it tends to create that kind of passion. Not unlike the culty aspects in Him, where you play a cult member of sorts, but hopefully not quite as deranged as you were in that movie. Naomi, I appreciate you hanging out with us and chewing the fat. Boys, we got anything else we want to talk to Naomi about, or shall we let her?
I'll throw in one question before we wrap, if that's okay.
Yeah, please.
You mentioned you kind of slipped into this horror hole in terms of like the genre at large. Was horror a fan? What were you a fan of the horror genre, or was horror something that you were really tuned into prior to you be kind of becoming a part of it as an actress? Was it something were there any franchises that you were a big fan of growing up or anything, or is it just kind of something that you literally stumbled into?
Yes and no. First of all, I was supposed to tell you shame on you for not loving is it Halloween? No, Hellraiser.
Oh yeah, yeah, get him. Yes. Get him. Get him.
No, listen.
Get him.
I don't think I've seen Hellraiser. I do know. No, so see, listen, here's the thing. I got a t-shirt for Alok, who's our mutual friend, producer of 1BR, who apparently you guys have beef because he loves Hellraiser and you don't, and therefore you've lost all validity whatsoever. In any case, he wanted me to wear the Hellraiser shirt tonight, and I was like, I mean, I can. It's so off brand for me. Like I've never even seen it. So for me to like play that part, it just feels totally inauthentic. So to answer your question, no, I honestly didn't follow any of those franchises. That said, I have always loved broad characters and great storytelling. And so, you know, listen, I always dreamt of being on SNL. Like that was my dream. And in a way, and so to that end, I was at the Groundlings, and learned to improvise, loogies, etc. But I would say, so for example, the Pepper was born not long after that, and obviously American Horror Story is like a total detour from the 3-minute sketch comedy that we were doing there on Melrose Avenue. At the same time, those really big over the top characters that I became very proficient at there really lend themselves in this case to me for Pepper. But also, I mean, when you think about it, look at Freddy Krueger, you know what I mean? He's a dude with his face burn off and knives for hands. Or, there's so many kind of over the top characters that could totally live on Melrose Avenue at the Groundlings. You know what I mean? So it's interesting. I think ultimately, I mean, Pepper, I think could totally be in the car with Toonces the cat, obviously. But it's really just a matter of sort of me sort of calibrating my performance. Like I said, this is not SNL. We're not in a Toonces sketch, and therefore it's up to me to kind of dial her down and play this in a more grounded way. We're doing real moment-to-moment acting with, Jessica Lange, Angela Bassett, Kathy Bates, Sarah Paulson. So, it is up to me to sort of read the room and understand the tone of the show and like I said, if I were in the car with Toonces, you can just imagine what kind of car ride that would be.
I need a Toonces and that skit with you guys right now. I need that skit to happen, right?
And Marjorie in the back seat.
Oh my God. Well, actually, it's funny that you say that. It's funny that you say it because am I wrong in remembering that Paul Reubens created Pee Wee Herman at the Groundlings, and Elvira also created Mistress of the Dark, created at the Groundlings.
Yeah.
Both characters that could have worked on Saturday Night Live, could have had they had their own movies. And they worked, in Elvira's case, in both the comedy sphere and the horror sphere. I see that there's absolutely a bridge there between creating big characters and putting them into film.
Well, they always say tragedy and comedy are two sides of the same coin, too. And I feel like that really lends itself to what you're saying.
Sure, if you slip on a banana peel and go, and you... I mean, that's either hilarious or it could end tragically, and it's a drama. It can go either way,
There's some sort of deep thing about life there that I can't quite wrap my head around right now. But
there's some nugget being said,
there's some nugget there.
With him, let's face it, you've got master comedians in this movie, between Marlon Wayans, who, believe me, was improvising right there with me. I mean, that kiss was not in the script. And, my only regret, my only note, and in fact, I told him this at the premiere, I said, I have one note. And of course, he immediately recognized me. Not that I looked anything like Marjorie, but, I'm that white lady with the teeth. And so, of course, he's like, what's that? And I was like, you need to turn that camera around. We needed more than that kiss, with one take on that kiss, which is, of course, like I said, it was improvised. So that's all we got. But
you should have turned around. Oh, we didn't get it that time. One more.
I wasn't feeling it.
One for safety.
Yeah,
two for safety. Two for safety. Well, Naomi, thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. Thank you for coming on, talking about him, chatting about everything. Sorry again about the ayahuasca, and sorry again that Ryan made Alok have a heart attack.
Alok, if you're out there, I'm sorry. I think It sounds like I didn't have validity to begin with. So I don't know.
He's not. But that's the way we do it in the show. Ryan is he's the initiate. Dan is the guy who's seen them all, and I'm just kind of I don't know. I'm the Ringo. But Naomi, really,
I'm telling you, you need to give yourself more credit.
The Diego Luna.
It's true.
Alok is the Indian John Lovitz. Somebody pointed that out to me yesterday, and I was like, all of a sudden, I can't unsee it. It is so hilarious and so true. If you know who this person is.
Alok, by the way, if you're checking this out, check out 1BR. I'm not sure where I'm pretty sure it's on Amazon, but check out 1BR, another great horror movie that Alok produced.
Peacock. I think Peacock is where he'd send you. I think he makes 10 cents every time.
Let's go. Peacock it is.
Peacock it is. Peacock it is. Head over to the cock. Check out 1BR. But yeah, I think Alok is a prettier man than John Lovitz. I'll give him that. He's a.
Well, and again, remember, SNL is my dream, so I could do much worse than an Indian John Lovitz.
That's a very good point. It's a very touche. But on that, say hello to Alok for us. Check out 1BR. Check out him in theaters right now, and also soon to be streaming. And in the spring, keep your eyes open for Naomi Grossman's one-woman show, American Horror Story. I say that with all respect. In Palm Springs. Check her out on her social. Would you like to shout out your socials so people can find you?
Sure. It's Naomi W. Grossman across all channels, all platforms.
Nice and easy.
Yeah. Great stuff. Well, Naomi, thank you very much again. We appreciate it. And we will see all of you next time right here on
This Is Why You Die.